SFM, short for Source Filmmaker, is one of the most important pieces of software for 3D web animations. Developed by Valve, the same company who gave every single gamer their gambling addictions.
Oh my god,
Samuel Toniolo, or better known as Lucifer Sam 01 on YouTube, started posting their animations all the way back in 2009. Just like every other SFM animator at the time, he started posting Five Nights at Freddy's animation videos. He even has his own IMDb page. He's only animated 2 TV series, for a total of 18 episodes combined. He's animated for The Creature Cases and Angelo Rules.
Don't feel like going to work? Better call Angelo!
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman.
After a few videos, we see the first sign of what would eventually turn into Witness. It's a test animation of something called draw-kill animatronics. Draw-kills are alternate styles of the nightmare animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's 4, named after the creator, which is also draw-kill. They're basically nightmare-style animatronics, with each of them having their own quality and uniqueness. It basically commits to the silhouette rule. A good character design is one which can be identified by its silhouette alone. Samuel loved these animatronic designs, and so he knew he wanted to make something out of it. He first uploaded a fake gameplay Hotline Miami video. This is probably one of the most underrated videos I've seen on this channel, especially if you're based and you're a fan of Hotline Miami. I'll put the link to the video in the description for you to watch. It's only 5 minutes long and it's honestly really amazing. Witness is an original take on the story of Five Nights at Freddy's after Five Nights at Freddy's 4. So basically, right before the story of Five Nights at Freddy's started falling off. The full movie took 2 years to make, and even though he got some help from people with models, assets, and rigging, this was mostly a solo project. Starting from the very beginning, we can see a Bonnie drawing in the main menu. This is its own unique separate character. The character model was also used in prior videos. This model actually goes way further back than you think, all the way back to 2014. So the Bonnie character was actually first designed by TG Weaver and was later turned into a 3D model by Ceiling Pie. Their account is unfortunately deactivated. TG Weaver would at the time make drawings of these style of characters in a comic style format. I suggest you to not look up these characters because there's a surprising amount of porn of them. No, I'm not kidding. The intro starts with no visuals, whilst we can only hear loud ambulance sirens in the background, with someone supposedly speaking to us. All I need to do is look at your eyes, and I know you would have been my favorite. We wake up from our bed, likely after experiencing a bad dream. Not so long after waking up, we can tell something is still not right. We get jump scared by Bonnie, depending on who you ask. She's introduced as not our enemy, but our guide or ally. We hear noises, so we proceed to hide under the bed. And we get introduced to our first nightmarish animatronic. So before getting caught, Bonnie uses herself as distraction.
Fossy's coming for ya!
Confused and completely lost, we crawl out of our hiding place and pick up a flashlight. Stepping forward, we make our way to a hospital floor. We eventually make our way to an office where Bonnie is hiding, who's glad to see us safe and unharmed. And she does the video game thing where she disappears as soon as she's off screen, like if she's riding on your back following you. Right after a telephone starts ringing.
Death is coming. It's coming. They're here. They're here. Get away. Get away.
This scene is honestly really great. Remember, this is not actually a game. And this video game style is encapsulated perfectly and prevalent throughout the whole movie. Lucifer Sam did work on a game before working on this movie, which can explain why the animation is so on point. Now, what game did he work on? The game in question was The Joy of Creation Reborn. I don't think I need to explain what The Joy of Creation is. It's the most popular Five Nights at Freddy's fan game out there, which explains why the animation is so convincing and so good.
Oh god! Holy crap!
We eventually make our way to the door where Foxy came from, leading into a seemingly infinite staircase. Inside the staircase, one of the many flashback sequences appear.
Why is that?
She's afraid of the big bad fox. Ooh. You know, he can feel your terror. The more you're afraid, the better you taste.
This is supposed to be Michael Afton from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. The sister is supposed to be Elizabeth, who proceeds to possess Baby in Sister Location. As we move on, you'll notice that these characters are way different than their game counterparts. Because remember, this was released before Sister Location.
Coming for you.
I just want to say the voice actors all across the board are absolutely phenomenal. Michael Afton and all of the other male bullies were voiced by Kyle DeNigris, who was 16 at the time. Now, you might know him for voicing Boozoo from the Walton Files. Yes, the online movie web series inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's, Walton Files. Also, he was the voice actor of Gabriel from Mandela Catalog.
Adam?
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
What?
You shut up when I'm talking to you!
We also find out that it's Elizabeth's birthday.
Stop being so mean to your sister. It's her birthday.
Sorry, Mom.
After eventually getting to the bottom of the staircase, we open an elevator door. But shortly after, we get attacked. Now, I'm not sure why, but Bonnie decides to save us by karate kicking Foxy. How goofy. After jumping through a door, we get thrown into another flashback.
Hey there, you won't believe who came here just for your birthday. That's a surprise. Follow me.
We proceed to follow Michael, almost for a full minute, without anything happening in between. You could have easily spread out some more dialogue here and there, or just some small pep talk, or just anything.
I ain't your buddy, go away!
Regardless, we follow Michael into a room before the flashback ends. You find yourself on the floor inside an old house, likely the house you used to live in, although now the house is completely destroyed and rotten. It's like we're traveling through our past, or the best interpretation of it. We find a key on the floor. Picking up the key, we get introduced to our second animatronic.
Time to eat.
We use the key to open the door, which leads to a worn down hallway that is somehow more decayed and more decrepit than the last. But not long after that, we get spotted and have to hide. My favorite part is how the view model shakes after she spots you, like if someone is actually playing the game and started shaking their mouse.
What the Sigma?
Continuing down the hallway, we can hear this interesting line.
Everything's gonna be okay.
This is really important. I'll come back to this in a bit. We loop back to the start with the giant mirror and the key on the floor. But instead of a key, there's a Freddy Fazbear's pizza box. This shows that, well, Elizabeth, supposedly, was around after Fredbear's Family Diner, or that Fredbear's Family Diner never existed to begin with. Unlike the original FNAF where she turns into a meat pretzel.
What the fuck is this game about?
This also probably explains why Michael was wearing a Freddy mask in the memory sequence. Even though Freddy Fazbear isn't supposed to exist in Fredbear's Family Diner, the pizza box opens to a girl screaming. Because, you know, it's not a horror game if your game doesn't have random jump scares. Come on, like, even Alan Wake 2 did that. We get found out, which forces us to run inside a red hallway filled with mannequins. Now, here is my game theory. This is likely a memory. The mannequins could represent strangers or bystanders in or outside the pizzeria, with one of the bullies chasing and harassing Elizabeth, ending with her probably pushed or thrown to the ground. Or in this case, push down a giant hole, which contains more of her darker memories. We're back at the end of the last memory with us following Michael to a room. If the past taught us anything, it's that these guys are always bad news. And this time, it's definitely no exception. If you look closely at the bottom when we're walking through the door, you can see the human models just hanging there. After they give themselves a pat on the back for absolutely trolling you, they lock you inside the storage room.
What's wrong? You don't like my surprise? Really?
We get locked inside the storage room by the bullies, just like that one other game I can't quite put my finger on. Elizabeth, already petrified and traumatized from all the things that happened, finds something or someone inside one of the animatronic parts, specifically inside Bonnie's head.
What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. What did you see?
There you are. Why are you here? I'm so worried. Come over here now.
Yep, that's our guy. That's Purple Guy, by the way. This entire memory sequence explains a lot of things, like how Michael and Elizabeth are completely unrelated to Purple Guy, which isn't the case in the game universe. But surprisingly, this idea actually shows up in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Second is the child we find in Bonnie's head. It explains why we only see Bonnie as a friendly character and everyone else as this monster animatronic, aka the bullies. We wake up in a giant cave after our fall. We move forward and we eventually encounter Freddy, which is obviously supposed to be a nightmare version of our brother.
Freddy's gonna get you.
Now, the design of the animatronic is one of the more unique designs. So, the thing on his back is supposed to be a gas tank, which is supposed to be used as a flamethrower that comes out of his fingertips. And this idea is really cool, but it just pains me to say that this section is one of the weakest parts of the entire movie. The entire thing is just a giant room with basically no detail or any continuity. While we run away from Freddy, he occasionally teleports around, but only teleports behind us. You know, literally something like Slender Man. And honestly, it just never adds to anything. You know, maybe you could have him teleport in front of us or do something to try and stop us, and you could have easily replaced it with the animatronic running after you, and it really wouldn't change anything. We get taken to some of the most random areas, from this broken down building down to a theater and some Silent Hill looking place to an office. The only explanation I have is that our memory has become so foggy and jumbled up that we're remembering random parts of our lives. Looking closer at the beds with the bodies, you can see bloody numbers drawn on them, mostly 9s and 5s. I tried to find the origin of the model, but no luck. We successfully flee from Freddy, after literally having our perception and our memory turn upside down. Shortly after that, Bonnie gets taken away from us. Now, this whole section is just not good. Seriously, the only thing that I like about this section is a fake door knock sound effect that randomly plays. I promise it only gets better from here. So in short, Bonnie becomes evil and starts chasing us while upside down. We walk into an elevator, which leads us to another memory sequence. The memory starts inside a narrow, long hallway. At the end of the hallway, we can see Freddy Fazbear standing idle, facing his back towards us. If you know anything about FNAF 4, I'm sure you know what's gonna happen next.
So, you had Mom worried, you know. That's not really nice of you. She's taking you out for your birthday. She's nice and all. And you're really an ungrateful, spoiled child. You need a punishment.
On one hand, this scene is actually pretty good. Kyle Denigris does an amazing job voicing the bullies. Really, my only problem is how the scene ends. So we slowly get pushed towards the animatronic, and this is what happens.
Come on, guys.
That's it?
Like, the animatronic just looks so bad with the teeth and the eyes. It literally looks like one of those DeviantArt OCs a 5-year-old would draw. Like, honestly, everything else is really well done with this scene. And as I said again, Kyle Denigris does an amazing job. Like how you can hear the bully's instant regret in the background after you get bit by the animatronic. We wake up in a hospital bed with a man inside the room, and things quickly start turning very sinister.
You know, I gotta say I'm sorry. I was pretty sure the machine would have killed you. But you, I can't help but think it's a shame that things were different for you and I. Children are so easy to manipulate. Some years ago, I had quite a collection of news. But sadly, some unfortunate events almost led the police to me, and I had to fly away. But well, fortunately, children here are adorable, curious, shy. It's really a shame you had to find one of the 4 hidden in the restaurant, because now I'm forced to kill you. But not the way I wish. Don't take it too personally, because what I need to do is look at your eyes, and I know you would have been my favorite. Oh well, now, just relax, don't fight it, or it would be more painful.
Everything we've been through so far are a compilation of memories seen through the lens of a child who accidentally stumbled onto one of the victims of William Afton's murder, specifically one of the 4 who possessed Bonnie. Now, we never fully find out if the animatronics can be possessed like the games, but if they do, then perhaps William Afton might have pulled a FNAF movie and deceived the animatronics into helping him and biting Elizabeth. And after the incident, Elizabeth is literally going through her memories and traumas that followed after the witnessing. The trauma is figuratively and literally a way for Elizabeth to block out all the horrors she witnessed, both the witnessing and the incidents that followed, as I guess a sort of coping mechanism. Because how can a man be so horrible to do such a thing? Almost in disbelief. We wake up to Freddy in the starting area, who proceeds to move us around and tamper with our face. Getting up and looking at the environment, we finally figure out who we really are. Yeah, Golden Freddy is completely non-existent in this universe. So, you know, Evan or Garrett never existed. Garrett! Now, if you're confused about this reveal, it's because in this universe, Michael and technically Elizabeth are not related to William Afton whatsoever. Wait a second. Isn't that just a FNAF movie?
Yes.
And this fan-made movie came out about 6-7 years ago? Yep, okay, this is objectively peak. Elizabeth walks through the hospital hallways, where we now know is where she was murdered by the hands of William Afton. We go inside the elevator, and this time we ascend to what seems to be the roof of the building, and we encounter William Afton. You can tell it's William Afton from the purple hue he emits. And I guess the text at the top just blatantly saying defeat purple guy. This is either literally William Afton, which if so, means he probably got the FNAF 3 treatment, or it's figuratively William Afton, having Elizabeth or Charlie move on from the tragic event. Personally, I think it's both. We fight the boss, which has 2 phases, by dodging him like it's Dark Souls and stabbing him in each eye. Stabbing William in the eye, we fall onto the floor in front of the 4 victims as animatronics. They each take turns slashing, stabbing, squashing, and biting William until he's incapacitated. William Afton laying on the floor inside the same suit he murdered all those kids, fully bloodied under his clothes. The animatronics give us the Springtrap suit and let us deal the final blow. As cheesy as this scene seems, I personally think it's a really cool way to close off the movie. After all the horrors you've been through, and all the past traumas you had to endure and face, it's finally over. Elizabeth and the 4 other children are now freed from their past. A bright light illuminates the area from a distance, and all of the children happily proceed to step forward to the bright light. Well, that was something. I know this video style was way different than what I typically talk about, so let me know what you thought about it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Also, if you think the movie is mid, here's a comment from someone saying it's amazing.
A masterpiece, bravo sire. I'm speechless.
Now, who wrote this comment?